Hello, friends. I'm feeling particularly vulnerable today, so it's probably perfect for what I want to talk about, which is how directly our souls speak to us through the things that bring us to tears. I call them tears of recognition. When we're children, and when we're very young, and we're frustrated, or we're not feeling well, of course we cry. And sometimes we still remain pretty immature. When we're adults and when we feel unhappy or frustrated, we will cry. And I would say to you, when you see those kinds of tears coming, stand up and get quiet and let them pass. But there is another quality of tears. I can't get through the Gettysburg Address and think of the thousands of men that died on that battlefield and the simple way in which Abraham Lincoln expresses for a nation the reason that these people gave their lives. And I cry. Tears come to my eyes. And I'm a sucker for romantic movies too. When people overcome the distance between themselves and finally love emerges, I cry. I think all of us do. I was in a theater in Copenhagen, a Danish audience, to see the film about the tsunami in Thailand and the family that was caught in it and what happened to them. And I've never been in an audience where so many people were sobbing. They'd been so noisy beforehand that you couldn't see any of the previews. You couldn't hear any of the previews. But once the film started and the emotion was moving, it was incredible tears. The tears of recognition of the suffering of these people, the courage, the tears that come when we see courage, the tears that come when we see a human being sacrificing themselves or dedicating themselves to the good of other human beings. Or when an animal is tender with another animal, or when a dog comes up and knows that you're sad or in grief and just picks its paw up and puts it on your leg and your tears flow even more strongly. It's the soul saying, this is what matters. Tenderness matters. Compassion matters. Empathy matters. We're constantly bombarded with images, advertisements, car advertisements, clothing advertisements. They've never brought tears to my eyes, not once. I watched some bit of about haute couture, and you see the models walking down the plank with the gangway with the new clothes. That doesn't bring tears to us. Or the watches, the exquisite watches that in the jewelry stores, it doesn't bring tears to us. But when a father and a mother work overtime and save so that they can buy a car for their daughter or their son on their 18th birthday, and if you're watching that and you know what those parents have done to make it possible on their limited incomes to find a way to plan for years for this gift for their daughter, their son, and you cry because there's such devotion in parents for children. And then the child cries, not because it's a car. They cry because they know what their mother and father have done to make it possible to give them that gift. And if they don't cry, it's because it was easy for the parents to give it. Easy to spend that $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 or $60,000 for a car for some people. But there's no meaning in it, no sacrifice in it, no self-surrender in it, no devotion, not really. So we know what really matters. Today we live surrounded by icons of modernity, the smartphone and the iPad, but they don't bring tears to our eyes. But what does is what you can watch on them. The social media is just doing something I think is wonderful. There are just so many views on these short videos that show kindness, that show courage, that show gentleness, that show caring. And so the soul tells us over and over again, this is what you're here for. When you cry and you feel good at the end of those tears because you've had an insight about what you didn't give yourself permission to live and why, those are not just tears of regret. Those are tears of a life that can be consecrated now to living more fully and more completely. So watch your tears. Respect your tears. It's lovely to go to a film that brings emotion out in us. But it's not just for the catharsis of feeling the release of tears. It's for trying to recognize in ourselves, why am I crying now? Why did that touch me so much? Because that's what the soul is saying we should live for, this is what we want to devote our lives to. This is the kind of human being we want to make ourselves into, create ourselves to be. Tears of recognition. Pay attention to your tears. What are they telling you about what really matters to you? And the more we pay attention, and the more we let our lives be consecrated to what those tears tell us really matters, the less we actually need in the world, the less we substitute materialism and consumerism for meaning. You don't cry at Christmas for the gift you get. You cry for the love that went behind the gift and the caring of the person who thought about giving you that gift. And as time goes on and we are more and more penetrated, more and more pierced by the beauty of people, by the beauty of nature, or pierced by the things that we as a species are doing to nature now, and our hearts are broken because we realize that some people don't see that and continue to put their self-interest above a greater self-interest, the health of our planet. It makes us angry. It should make us angry. But it also brings the tears that tell us we want to be stewards. We want to care. We want to take care. So the last thing I asked a group that was just with me and for 8 days in the south of France to work on the very day they were leaving, the last 2-hour session, and broke them into small groups, and I asked in groups of 6 or 7 people to each take about 7 minutes to speak about where they experienced tears of recognition and what that told them about who they were, and what that told them about how they wanted to live going forward from this day. How do you want to live going forward from this day? I think your tears can tell you.